15 top attractions in Boston, Massachusetts. Perhaps no other city in America holds as much history of the colonial and Revolutionary War era as Boston. It is one of the oldest cities in the United States, and is known as the birthplace of the American Revolution. Make the most of your trip to Boston with this handy list of top attractions in Boston. Number 1. Freedom Trail. The Freedom Trail leads you past, and into, 16 of the city's principal historic monuments and sites. The red line on the sidewalk leads you on this 2.5 miles, self-guided tour of American Revolution sites. It starts at the Boston Common, America's oldest public park, and ends at the famed Bunker Hill Monument. Number 2. Fenway Park. Known as America's most beloved ballpark, Fenway Park is one of the most fabled sports complexes in the country, and even if you're not a sports fan, a tour of it is both fun and interesting. The home of the Boston Red Sox looks much the same as it did when it opened in 1912. Number 3. Faneuil Hall Marketplace. Known as the Cradle of Liberty, Faneuil Hall was built in 1740-42 by Huguenot merchant Peter Faneuil as a market hall, and presented to the city on the condition that it should always be open to the public. In good weather, you'll find street performers and buskers putting on shows in the square around the market. Along with the numerous food stalls, there are also shops selling jewelry, clothing, gifts, and souvenirs. Number 4. Museum of Fine Arts Boston. One of the leading art museums in the country, it contains 8,161 paintings, and more than 450,000 works of art, making it one of the most comprehensive collections in the Americas. The Boston Museum of Fine Arts excels in its collections of Impressionist paintings, ancient Egyptian treasures, Asian and Persian fine arts, and works from ancient Greece and the Middle East. Number 5. Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum is housed in a building modeled after a 15th century Venetian palace. In this museum displays its priceless 2,500-piece collection of paintings, sculptures, furniture, tapestries, decorative arts, books, and manuscripts reflect the personal tastes and considerable expertise of Mrs. Gardner herself. Number 6. Uss Constitution. Nicknamed Old Ironsides, USS Constitution is the oldest commissioned ship in the United States Navy, and is still commanded and crewed by Navy personnel. The ship is open to visitors, who can go below decks and hear about the ship's construction and action at sea. Number 7. Museum of Science. Exhibits in this extensive science museum encourage learning through hands-on exploration of science and technology, but the museum is not just for children. Physics, biology, chemistry, ecology, zoology, astronomy, computers, and more are explored in more than 700 permanent, hands-on exhibits that are enhanced by stage presentations and interpreters. Number 8. Harvard University. Harvard University, founded in 1636, is the oldest institution of higher learning in the United States, and is widely considered one of the world's leading academic centers. Go to the Harvard Information Center to take a spirited and entertaining free walking tour of the campus guided by a student who will share history, Harvard law, and personal perspective. Number 9. Old North Church. You can climb to the tower of Old North Church, where lanterns were hung in April 1775 to alert Paul Revere that British troops were headed to Lexington to arrest the Patriot leaders and confiscate the munition supplies. This fateful event ignited the American Revolution. The beautiful white interior of the church still retains its historic box pews. Number 10. Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum. On the night of December 16, 1773, more than a year before the first battle of the American Revolution, angry Bostonians protesting a tax on goods shipped to the colonies, stormed ships from England, and threw the tea into the harbor at this site. with full-scale replicas of the original ships from which the Sons of Liberty dumped tea overboard. The Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum offers tours with a participatory reenactment of that event. Number 11. New England Aquarium. Overlooking the waterfront, the New England Aquarium features more than 20,000 fish and aquatic animals representing over 550 species. A man-made Caribbean coral reef houses a large variety of tropical fish and underwater life including sharks, turtles, and moray eels. Visitors can watch harbor seals play, perform, and live in their enclosed habitat outside the aquarium. Number 12. Boston Public Library. On the National Register of Historic Places, the library opened in 1852 as the first free, publicly supported municipal library in America. This sizable public library is the second largest in the United States next to the Library of Congress, and its original Copley Square branch includes two landmark buildings, the Bates Hall Reading Room, and cafes. Number 13. Boston Harbour. At Rose Wharf, you can board the Odyssey to cruise through Boston Harbour, from Castle Island to George's Island. You can enjoy lunch, dinner, or Sunday brunch as you savor the views of Boston's beautiful skyline from the water. You can travel outside the confines of Boston Harbour on Boston whale watching cruises for a chance to see humpback and fin whales, as well as dolphins and porpoises in the wild. Number 14. John F. Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum. Dedicated to the memory of the 35th U.S. President, the museum is the official national memorial to JFK designed by noted architect I.M. Pei, and opened in 1979. The museum, which stands on the shore south of the city, features 3 theaters, personal memorabilia, photographs, and historical exhibits that document the life of JFK and his presidency. Number 15. Boston Harbour Islands State Park. This national park consists of 34 small islands just offshore in Boston Harbour. The most popular, George's Island, is home to Fort Warren, a Civil War landmark that housed Confederate prisoners. Visitors to the 12 islands open for exploration can camp, kayak, tow lighthouses, ride harbor ferries, hike, and swim. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this channel.